Okay, folks, I have discussion C for you tonight. We're discussing states that require you to take care of your parents when they're elderly. So um, I'm going to go through those for you now. The phrase by law, these U.S. states require adults to care for parents, refers to Phil, 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 responsibility laws, statutes that impose a legal duty on adult children to support their indigent parents. These laws go beyond cultural and moral expectations, family caregiving, translating them into enforceable obligations under certain conditions. They are not uniform nationwide, but exist in a patchwork across states, reflecting historical traditions and contemporary debates. About who should bear the burden of elder care. What the headline is saying, the headline signals that in some states, adult children may be legally compelled to provide financial support for parents who cannot meet basic needs. This obligation is not about voluntary caregiving or emotional duty. It's it is codified in law. While the exact number of states varies depending on how sources define active or enforceable. Statutes must legal statutes must legal surveys identify between (20 and 30 states with some form of file responsibility law on the books. Scope and obligations. Core duty. Adult children may be required to pay for necessities such as food, clothing, shelter, and medical care if their parents are indigent. Definitions matter. Each state defines indigent ability to pay and necessities differently, which shapes the scope of responsibility. Example statutes. California Family Code 4400 requires adult children to support indigent parents. Indiana Code 31-1617 outlines similar obligations. Kentucky Rev Statutes 530.050 makes non-support of parents a misdemeanor. Who is covered? Typically adult children. Through some laws extend obligations to other relatives. Why this list differ? Different articles and completions report verifying numbers of states with feudal responsibility law. Sometimes 27, sometimes 29, sometimes fewer, because dominant versus active law. Some statutes exist but are rarely enforced, leading some analysts to exclude them. Interpretation differences. Some count only laws explicitly mentioning parents, while others include broader support of relatives statutes. Partial enforcement. Even where laws exist, courts seldom invoke them. So some lists focus on states where enforcement has occurred in recent decades. Enforcement and real-world use. Rare but possible. Historically, enforcement has been infrequent. However, there have been cases where nursing homes or state agencies sued adult children to recover costs of parental care. Financial focus. These laws generally impose financial obligations, not custodial duties. They don't force children to house or physically care for parents, but they can require payment of care costs. Modern relevance. Raising health care and long-term care costs have renewed interest in these laws, especially as Medicaid budgets strain under the weight of elder care. Historical roots and policy rationale. Financial responsibility law traced back to England's Poor Act of 1601, which required family members to support indigenous relatives before the state provided aid. Early American colonies adopted similar provisions, and many states retained them as part of their welfare framework. This rationale is straightforward before the public pulse is tapped. Family members with means should contribute to the support of their kin. Broader implications, ethical debates. Critics argue these laws unfairly burden adult children, especially if parents were neglectful or abusive. Supporters contended they reinforce family responsibility and reduce reliance on public funds. Equity concerns. Enforcement can disproportionately affect middle class families who are too wealthy for public aid, but not wealthy enough to absorb long-term care costs easily. Policy crossroads. As the U.S. population ages, states face tough choices: expand public elder care programs or revive enforcement of federal responsibility laws. In essence, the headline highlights a little known but significant legal reality. In many states, caring for aging parents is not just a moral duty, it can be a legal obligation rooted in centuries old poor laws and still shaping debates about family responsibility and the role of government in elder care. Now, guys, there's a reason why I chose to do this for C tonight. Because some people put their family members in facilities and essentially don't come see them. They don't take the time that you need to go see your family member to make sure that things are doing okay. Me personally, I think it's a given obligation. If their son or daughter, if it's their son or daughter who's putting them in there, their obligation as their son or daughter is to go and make sure things are okay. When people don't show up and do the right thing for family members, that's when things fall apart. That's when things go haywire. I just think the people should have another, have moral feelings about, putting first of all, putting their family member in a facility for a good reason, and making sure going there once or twice a week or daily, making sure that things are running right, that they're getting the right kind of care, because that matters. You can't just shove people in a nursing home or facilities and expect them just to disappear, because society isn't that way. Um, everybody has, in my eyes, everybody has a moral obligation to take care of their family members. Be it be because they're in a facility, that shouldn't matter. You, as a family, should be able to go in and see that your family member is taken care of, and suggest things. If they're not being taken care of, say something. Say something to nursing. Say something to the director of the facility, for crying. Because that matters. People get to the point where they can't, they don't have a voice for themselves. You can have extended family members in the facility, but you still need to go take care of them. You need to, you still need to go check on them daily, or take the time, maybe twice a week or more, to make sure that things are the way they're supposed to be, because they did it for you when they were able to. So your obligation is to take care of them if you are their son, daughter. Um, in my case, I've done it for aunts, uncles. It's an obligation that people need to step up to the plate and do. Okay, so that is it for tonight. And we'll see everybody Monday for shows. For now, Gator Wellness. Take care, folks.